Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Sports Development, Decay, came on another round of inspection of the complex on Tuesday. Solomon Ajuziugo visited the stadium and now reports.
Nigerian head of state Yakubu Gowon opened the nation's £6 million sterling national stadium in Surulere, Lagos.
For many, Nigeria's greatest sports moments took place in this stadium. Since it was opened in 1972, the Lagos National Stadium has hosted many iconic sports events. From the African Games in 1973 to the Cup of Nations in 1980 to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in 1999.
1977, when we have the former, is it late now, Joe Avalanche coming to watch Raka Rivers and Ben Entrance play under floodlights here. I was very young then. I was in secondary school, and it was unbelievable. The atmosphere, the crowd, man, I can never forget that particular day.
It was here that Samuel Sochukwu Mogwaraji died, if you remember that. And that shows you how thick this stadium, you know, how Nigerians trooped to this place. I think this is a legacy. Remember in, 1980. When Nigeria won the Nations Cup. It holds a lot of memories.
I would say it was the 1980 Nations Cup final. Then you talk about the Taribo West Taribo West Friends. There was a match organized by Friends of Taribo West in his retirement, and it was a monumental match, a match that I had never seen the stadium got that kind of capacity. The biggest, I think, was Nigeria '99, when Nigeria hosted the world. It was a stadium that everybody wanted to have a feel of.
Nigeria Olympic qualification against Zimbabwe under-23 at National Stadium that Dukuri scored, died into the end of the game. Nigeria needed to win to qualify to the Olympics. I think Sydney Olympic 2000, if I'm not mistaken. And the goal came around 93 or 94 minutes.
Since 2004, this sport asset, which members of a visiting Brazilian delegation had described as more beautiful than any stadium in their country as far back as 1999, has been left abandoned and allowed to rot.
It's a manifestation of government's inconsistencies, because the policy somersaults of subsequent governments, it has made the stadium, it's lost its direction. This minister will come with his own policy, the next one will come with another policy.
Very, very sad and disheartening. You see, I've been to so many stadia all over the world, and I think a good national stadium should be a monumental edifice for the country to make money from. It's so painful that subsequent governments have not really paid the needed attention to sports facilities and other infrastructures in this country. Coming to this place, sometimes I don't really like coming to the National Stadium. It makes me feel like crying.
The National Stadium is just a reflection of our national life. Wastes. And then people in authority not making the right decisions for whatever reasons. The property is that of the federal government, and it's in the custody of the Ministry of Sports. I think the Ministry of Sports will be left to do.
Some effort by the immediate former Minister of Sports to renovate and restore the main bowl has not yielded the desired result. After fixing the pitch, the track and the scoreboard, the main bowl has not been able to host any event. Except for these members of the amputee national men's football team, the Special Eagles who train on the main pitch in preparation for the World Cup qualifying Africa Cup of Nations holding in Egypt.
Chief Sunday Dare did one or two things. He sort of donated the renovation of the track and the scoreboard. And I think Sunday Dare had hoped that some other persons will take the terraces, and then at the end of the day,
Every minister that is appointed will always come, to show his face on TV, inspecting the National Stadium. I can't remember the number of, ministers that came here. They will just come, talk, go back, and the same thing will happen. Before John the present minister came, I think it was Sunday Dare, the former minister that was talking about concession here. Perhaps he left and passed over the notes to John because it's too early for him to have visited. The first day he came, he was talking about concession.
There has been seeming endless talk about concession in the facility.
When Goodluck Jonathan was president, my partner and I wrote the proposal, the 3D stuff to him to concession it to us. Jonathan's government responded by setting up a committee and then another committee until he left office. We didn't hear anything. And what we put there was that it will serve as the pilot to inform other concessions. Because see, concessioning a stadium isn't just taking the business and build and then you don't have activities. It has to come with activities. We still have the swimming pool. We have the tennis court. I think the swimming pool is functional. We have the tennis court, which is, well, just okay. Then there's the legacy pitch where they do training. So bits and pieces can be put together since they have not quite considered the idea of outright concession.
Let's forget about the concession of this stadium or the contrast. This stadium is weak, and I fear for the lives here. You remember some time ago, the mass and everything fell.
In all the years of its abandonment, the facilities have gradually deteriorated with collapsed lamp trusses and weak structure. Concession arrangements for existing infrastructure like that of the Lagos National Stadium Surulere can take the form of a public-private partnership or a management contract, which terms are dictated by law. In Nigeria, the Federal Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission is the body responsible for laying the groundwork and arranging any such agreement. Already, a semblance of a public-private partnership has been in place at the swimming center since 2017 and the tennis center.
The National Stadium Lagos shouldn't be given to one person because there are so many sports or sporting facilities within that complex. The main bowl in itself is a monument I think should be well guided. We shouldn't joke with our national monuments. The National Stadium is a monument as far as I'm concerned. It's a place that the government should have kept hold of. Maybe just this concessioning, many groups can have, because of so many aspects of sports, you can't give it to one person.
The present regime should invest more into sports. If you want to tackle insecurity, not just National Stadium, Nigeria should be open up to sport because it's a very big business and a very big employer of youth.
With concerns over perceived secrecy on concession plans on the Lagos Stadium, Nigerians are expecting an open process to secure a worthy partner to help restore the country's most iconic sports complex.
If they are concessioning the stadium, let us know and let it be done properly. You're not just concessioning things. There are some concessions that you do and it will begin to hurt you. This is Sports City where Nigerian athletes from everywhere, people come here to train.
Why our elites selling Nigeria to themselves? Why do they want to consider National Stadium? Let government take care of it. It should not be considered to anyone to manage. Nigeria can take care of National Stadium. It belongs to Nigeria. Nigeria government, we have Ministry of Sport. What are they doing there? Are they just earn salary and give it to private organization? No. What are they using the allocation or budget being given to national sporting facility every year? What are they using it for?
Once it's transparent, everything is in public domain. You advertise it, the concessionaires put in applications, they shortlist them, and then they set up a committee, which may include somebody from related government agencies. Put it open. Anybody who wants should come with his presentation. That okay, we are a consortium, this is that is in it. This is what we bring to the table. This is what we hope to achieve, and this will be return on the investment. If a lead consortium comes, it has a swimming pool expert, it has a ball game expert, it has, like the situation in London. Somebody takes the main boat, then somebody takes the swimming pool, and one other thing. That kind of lead concessionaire and subs will do for me. That will be easier.
But whatever the decision the Federal Ministry of Sports and the Concession Regulatory Commission arrives at, it is hoped that the process will be transparent and comply with procurement laws of the country. Solomon Ajiziogu, TVC News, Lagos.